Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com. It is the Tuesday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Man, it is a short one. For all of you that want short shows, you guys need shorter. Well, you get your wish today as we got 4 MLB games to take a look at, and that's it. Scott, you got playoff fever over there, buddy?
Something like that. We'll see how game one goes for the Yankees.
The who? Are the Yankees still in it? Must be early in the playoffs.
Yeah, as of right now, they're still in it. So that tells you all you need to know about how early it is.
I can't resist. I'm sorry.
You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, they should be in that should be a good game tonight between the Yankees. But we got a few others to get to first. So Scott, before we get started, just real quick, you like the playoff format? You like the everybody playing in the first round, the seeding and all that? You think that's cool?
I think it's fine. You know, whatever. I've kind of wanted baseball to expand its playoffs for a couple of years. Is this the format that I had in mind? No, but it's there. So I'm just happy to see baseball, playoff baseball, I guess. It could have been worse. That's all I'm going to say.
There he is, everybody. Scott Hot Take Reichel right there.
Why? Are you a big fan of it?
I like I
think it's fine. Yeah, it's not cool. Like it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they. No, it's fine. You know, it is what it is. It's fine.
Do you think it has any chance of being a permanent fixture? Do you think they do this in the future?
Anytime you get more revenue from more games, I think anything's in the fold because you're going to be getting more teams, let alone the fact. So you're also going to attract more of an audience in terms of TV markets. So
16 of 30 teams make it, Scott. It's hockey of the South is what it is.
I'm sure that's the catchphrase they're going to use.
Needs a little refinement.
They're going to try to bring in fans from Canada. It's something hockey of the South. Yeah, sure.
Well, for anyone, we'll talk about the football game at all. Did you watch a football game last night?
Yeah, I watched it. Or at least I tried to until the game got one-sided. Baltimore tried to make a game of it late. Lamar had less than 100 passing yards. So every single time it seems like there's a moment for him to separate himself, Lamar to prove whatever. He faces Mahomes and he gets destroyed.
Yeah,
it just seems to be a tradition that Lamar is accepted, or a playoff game. But in all these I can't call it a must-win game because Baltimore is clearly going to win the division and whatever. But there's only so many times.
Are they clearly going to win the division? They're a game back of Pittsburgh right now, and Pittsburgh.
I think they're significantly better than Pittsburgh. But
okay, all right.
Either way, the point is that you're just looking at the teams, and it's just a matter of Baltimore being very, very solid, but they're not Kansas City's level. And at the end of the day, Mahomes is just so much better than Lamar Jackson. It's not even close.
Yeah,
and Andy Reid's play calling was, or either him or the offensive coordinator, it was on point in that first half yesterday.
Yeah, and then he did the Andy thing and disappointed overbettors across the country as he went in the tank. Although the Chiefs didn't help themselves by turning it over on downs and having a stupid fumble there at the 20-yard line. Missed an extra point, missed a field goal.
I'm sure fans were thrilled at the 4th and 24 decision to go for it by Baltimore midway through the fourth quarter. They had to go for it. They're down 2 touchdowns. It was a no-brainer, go for it, even though it was 4th and 24. But I'm sure some people are just yelling at the TV, kick it. It's like, no, you're not going to cut it from 14 to 11. Like that's not according to analytics. You're going to go for it every time.
No, yeah, there's no reason to
like you lose. Don't get me wrong, you lose, but you have to do it. It's a no.
You're down 2 scores, you kick a field goal, you're down 2 scores. No, that's not how that works.
That's what Adam Gase would have kicked it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. All right, bud. So let's talk a little baseball here. We got our first matchup is 2 p.m. Eastern time. Going to see the Houston Astros travel to Target Field to take on the Minnesota Twins. Scott, this is a Houston game that has been not good on the road. They've been dreadful. They've been fighting for the worst record in the American League as far as road record goes all season long. And now they got to go to Minnesota. They try out Zach Greinke going against Kenta Maeda, another one of those ex-Dodgers pitchers that has done a great job getting a good prize on the Astros. They're trying to sweeten that pot, trying to get you to bet on the boys from Houston plus 155. Minus 168. You want to back the favorites, and like almost every game today, 7.5 is the total. Your thoughts, my friend?
Well, for this one, it's very heavy on Minnesota in terms of the money line, of course, at roughly minus 170. So I'm not really interested in doing that. I think if you want to take Houston, you should take the first 5. If you think that Greinke can hold his own. I know Greinke in the playoffs has been pretty good. I can't say he's been great, but he's been serviceable. I think he's fine in the playoffs, whatever. And Maeda hasn't had many playoff reps in terms of starting. I know he was a starter. Then the Dodgers turned him into a bullpen guy last year. He came out of the bullpen, pitched well. So he's kind of been all over the place in terms of his appearances in the playoffs in the past. He's been phenomenal all year long. He's been really good at target field. If I had to lean anywhere, I personally think Minnesota is going to win this series pretty easily. I think they'll probably win in 2, if I'm being honest. But based on the fact that it's baseball, that means Houston's probably going to sweep. I'm going to go with Minnesota. You know what? I'm going to go on the run line. I know that it might sound a little bit scary to go against Houston, especially against them, with the minus 1.5, roughly plus 120, plus 125. This Houston team is just so beyond terrible on the road. I can't do it. I know that you can talk about Altuve and Correa and Springer, and yeah, we talked about how their averages and all their numbers have completely plummeted in the season after the whole scandal, etc. I'm not saying that it was all smoke and mirrors. I'm just saying that if everybody's numbers are down across the board, that's a little bit incriminating.
It's a little bit funny.
I think that's a little bit incriminating if everybody's stats all across the board are down. I'm not talking about down like from 290 to 270. I mean from like 290 to 210. There were 80 points gone.
It's a little coincidental. I would just say it does. If I'm on a jury, it doesn't look good.
That's what I'm saying. I can't put it beyond a reasonable doubt, but I am saying that it definitely doesn't help their cases. But in reality, Minnesota is so good at home. Their offense is great. Their pitching's been very good this year. The issue I have with Houston, besides Dusty Baker being the manager, which is never a good sign in October, I simply just don't know which area Houston has an experience over Minnesota besides playoff experience.
Yeah, here's what I'm looking at, Scott, because you look at that matchup and you say Kenta Maeda and you see Zach Greinke, 2 quality pitchers going at it. But Zach Greinke, dirty little secret, he's given up 3 or more in 7 straight starts. He has not been good coming down the home stretch. From basically from the 23rd of August on, he has been he's not been good, man. He's been one of these guys with a 7.78 ERA, and I don't know about the run line there, my friend. I think I'm going to go a different way. I'll go ahead and take the Twins over 4.5. Just kind of take Maeda out of the equation.
Okay, we're kind of on the same page here.
If
Minnesota absolutely scores 5 or more runs, they're going to win this game by at least 2, in my opinion.
Probably. Yeah.
I'll take the plus value there. It's just a matter of, even if Greinke hypothetically pitches, I'd say reasonably well, there is a chance Maeda just completely shuts the door.
That's true. And I am getting plus value, by the way. I'm getting plus 115 on that.
Oh, okay. Cool. I wasn't sure if you're getting plus value at that.
Maeda's been okay, but he's given up 3 or more in 3 of his last 5 starts. So, he's had his version of struggles as well. No matter how long I'm into this season, I keep checking the records to see how these teams did against each other. Mm-hmm. Trying to get out of it, it's a hard habit to break. Of course, you remember they just played within their own division. Anyway, that's just me. I'll take. We're both on Minnesota there. We're both fading Houston. I'm fading Greinke, who has been better in the playoffs lately. He was dreadful when he first started as a playoff pitcher, but he's not quite. He's very similar to Kershaw. Not quite as bad as Kershaw in the playoffs. Not quite as big of a drop off, but not a great playoff guy. So I'm going to back the Twins. Team total 4.5 right there. All right. Next on our list is the White Sox and the Athletics. 7.5 is the total. Lucas Giolito goes against Jesus Luzardo for the Oakland Athletics.
Maybe it's just me. I know that it depends on the actual order based on how the season ended in terms of rotation. Are you surprised that Luzardo's the number one starter?
I was just going to ask you that. I'm surprised he's the number one starter against Chicago.
Well, the issue that you have, even with lefties, that doesn't really matter. Because if you think about who their main starting pitchers are, you have Minaya, lefty. You have Fiers, lefty. You have Luzardo, lefty. So the only pitcher that you really have to throw in there is either Bassett or even Montes, and Montes hasn't been good this year. So I personally, it really depends on the order of the rotation and trying to get the proper amount of rest. But going with the unproven rookie as a lefty against the White Sox, and they've smashed lefties, I found a pretty interesting move. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have they would have led off with Chris Bassett.
I thought Bassett would be the guy personally. Even if it wasn't a full 5 days rest, I just thought that they would go with him because of the fact that he's been really good at home. He's been pretty much unhittable at home.
By the way, Mike Fiers is right-hander, dude.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I thought he was a left-hander.
So that would have been the other option. They could have started. They could have gone.
Fiers was a left-hander. I have no idea.
Can't know. But they could have gone with Fiers and they could have gone with Bassett. This is a White Sox team that set a major league record. Of course, it wasn't a full season. Set a major league record for OPS against left-handers. So
they've been great against lefties all year. Now, it is worth mentioning that part of the reason why could be the fact that Bassett did pitch on Friday, which 7 innings, gave him no earned runs, so maybe they're trying to make sure he gets 5 days. But in a 2 out of 3 series, I'm not saying that you should immediately roll the dice and cut a guy shorter than 5 days of rest, etc. But I think you have to look into it. Bassett's just so good at home.
I'm guessing they want to steal one and then see if they can get away with it, and then
I guess, but that basically means you're using Bassett as your ace in the hole.
Yeah,
that's not exactly a good look. It's just
no. It's an interesting strategy.
See if it pays off for him, but yeah, it's just a matter of, I know Bassett pitched Friday. I might have leaned to him anyway because he hasn't given up a run in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's given up 1 earned run and run in the last 26 2/3 innings.
Yeah, he's been very good. He's been peaking at the right time.
So I think it's basically a lock to start game 2. But for game 1, you have Luzardo is unproven, very young, first playoff start against the White Sox, who have killed the lefties. Giolito does not have the greatest numbers against Oakland either. I'm going to lean to the over. I think that's a solid play at 7.5.
All right, I'm really torn whether to go team total over or whether to take the regular over. I think I will.
Which team? The White Sox?
Yeah. For the White Sox, team total over 4.5.
I think what factored into me leaning to the full game over is because of the fact that Chicago's bullpen has completely fallen apart over the last week and a half, and I feel like even though Chicago through the course of the season had a surprisingly decent bullpen, I believe they've given up at least 4 runs in 7 of their last 8 games. Like they have not been pitching well. And even Giolito has been, of course, one of their best starters this year. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in 6 innings in roughly his last 4 starts or so. So he has been good. I can't say he's been lights out, game over. He'll give up a couple runs, in my opinion. Not to mention the first playoff start jitters for both starting pitchers. I think 7.5 is too low. I think both teams have a shot to get to 4, potentially even a 5-3 game or something like that. So for me, I think 7.5. It makes sense these totals have dropped because of the playoffs, et cetera, and how they tended to be lower scoring. But I think with this pitching matchup, the lack of experience and the fact that both lineups, Chicago's lineup is obviously great. Oakland's offense is okay. I'd say it's serviceable, but it tends to be very good at home. I just think that 7.5 is too low. So I'll go with the over.
All right. I'll tell you what, another one that has my interest is the first 5 over 4. Both these pens have been very good. White Sox have struggled a little bit lately, but overall, these are 2 of the best pens. Oakland probably has the best pen in the majors. White Sox, decent, 3.41 ERA, which is, that's outstanding these days for a pen.
Yeah, it's very good.
Pick your over. You know what? I'll go with you. I'll just take the 7.5. Because you're right. Giolito has struggled a little bit lately, 2 or 3 earned runs in most of his starts. Yeah, okay. Over 7.5. I'm with you. Rays and Jays, Scott. This one is and I'm not gonna say it was a late pitching change, but last night when I did my play of the day video, they did have a different starter. They did have Hyun-Jin Ryu starting for the Jays, which that makes sense to me. I still don't understand why you would change. And maybe it's a strategy like the Oakland Athletics are doing.
Shoemaker's had very good numbers against Tampa this year, so that's probably a factor in because his ERA against Tampa, I believe it's sub 3. It's been very good. It's probably a matchup thing if I had to guess.
It's certainly a very small sample size because Shoemaker's been hurt a lot of the season. He's just made 6 starts, so. If he's pitched against him, he's only pitched against him once, I would guess. Let's see here. He's okay. He's actually, I stand corrected. He's actually made, he made 3 starts against him. 3 of his 6 starts have come against Tampa Bay. Who knew?
Yeah, and he's actually done pretty well.
He's been all right. He's given up
against Tampa's numbers are respectable. Do I think he should be a number 1 starter in a playoff series? Hell no. But he has been okay.
He's given up 5 earned over 15 innings. That's pretty much a 3 ERA right there.
It's 3. It's fine.
All right. Well, I've got a play of the day on him.
Okay.
And I have no way to correct that, so I hope he wins.
Listed pitchers. It's automatically voided.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it just depends on how they.
I don't know. It depends what book you use, I guess.
I mean to say that every baseball game that we bet, but anyway. Okay, so let's talk about this. It's Shoemaker, and it is Blake Snell. Blake Snell has been very good this season, as you might expect. Not a lot of hiccups. Gave up 3 earned his last time out. I know you like this Tampa Bay squad quite a bit, Scott. Is there any value in this? Is 7.5? Is it time to take an under here?
The issue that I have with taking the under, sorry to interrupt, is the fact that I have no idea how long Shoemaker is going to pitch. I think Shoemaker should actually pitch decently well in this start, in my personal opinion. But the issue that I have is that he's had multiple injuries for his entire career and this season. He's made 1 start within the last month, and he went 3 innings.
Right.
So even if he pitches, he might go 4 innings, assuming things go well. Like he's gonna have the shortest leash you can possibly imagine.
I would certainly imagine that's going to be the case. And
so I don't know if I can really I don't know if I can really look at a total or anything like that if I don't know how long Toronto's starting pitcher is going to be. Like what's the backup plan if he stinks?
Well, and unlike the last game where you've got 2 teams with pretty good pens, in this series you've got 1 team with a pretty good pen.
And that's Tampa.
I was going to say, and it ain't Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's bullpen's not great. They also are the worst base running team in the league, Toronto. They're also one of the worst fielding teams in the league. Fundamentally, they are awful, but they're really good in terms of young batters smashing the ball. The only issue that you have, once again, is let's assume for the sake of it that Ryu is going to pitch game 2 and Walker, if anybody, would pitch game 3.
Yes.
What's your fail-safe in this game? You're going with Rourke or Robbie Ray? Like, what's your game plan here if Shoemaker can only go 2-3 innings?
I would think some combination of those guys. I would think Robbie Ray.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about Robbie Ray being your savior if you take Toronto. That's a problem. So
I would just assume they'd go the righty-lefty switch and make Tampa Bay adjust their lineup.
Yeah, if I really had to go anywhere with this, I would go with Tampa Bay on the run line. I know that it's kind of surprising because I've been very anti-home team run lines in my life, but trying to find value of any kind, I can't really take Tampa on the money line to -180. I do think that +105 does possess some value. Shoemaker, he's fine, as a starter. I don't know if he's good enough to be a full playoff starter because if he has pitched in the playoffs, I'll tell you what, it hasn't been that often. And Snell the Rays have been in the playoffs before. Snell's been good in the playoffs. I know Tampa in Tropicana is a massive pain in the ass to deal with. And I simply think that Tampa, especially with the bullpen, they'll do the small things with Cash as the manager. And I simply just think that Tampa's the better overall team. So I'll go with Tampa on the run line. I think they'll win by a couple runs.
All right. Like I said, when I did take this on the play of the day, we got it plus 175. And
you also thought that, but you also thought Ryu was pitching.
So Ryu was on the mound. Yeah, that is a huge difference. I think what I'm going to play here.
I think you'll agree with me that there is some value on Tampa with Shoemaker on the mound instead of Ryu. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a completely different situation.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game with Shoemaker.
Do you trust? If you're, I know that you're not a Blue Jays fan, but if you were, would you trust Shoemaker in the spot? I don't know how I can. No. He's had good numbers against Tampa, but once again, I don't know how long the starting pitcher can pitch for. That's a problem, especially in game 1 of a series that's 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just don't have any margin for error.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Shoemaker struggles or something happens where he's not fully ready to go back to going 5-6 innings, you are probably looking at Robbie Ray or Tanner Roark coming in as in long relief. And I think it's safe to say we both dislike those two starters.
Not fans.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That if that's your fail-safe, you got problems.
Yeah, I mean, Shoemaker he's made one playoff start in his career. He made one playoff appearance. He was good, but it was 6 years ago against.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have much playoff experience, and is only starting a month. He went 3 innings.
Yeah, agreed. I'll tell you the play that I'm going to make, Scott. I'm going to play the Blue Jays team total over 2.5.
That was heavily juiced to the over, right?
It is. It's 145.
I actually thought about doing that last night, and then I was like, "Oh, it's minus 140. I can't."
Yeah, I don't love it, but I still think there's value there.
They're a good hitting team.
Huh?
They're a good hitting team, so of course, yeah, it makes sense.
Right. I think they can run into 3 runs. I'm not sure they don't lose 6-3, but I'll take the juiced over in that one. Scott, I know this is the game that you want to talk about. It's the marquee matchup, if you will, the 7 p.m. start. Yankees and Indians, and this one is it's capped out at the closest game. Yankees small favorites, minus 109. Indians minus 101. Garrett Cole and Shane Bieber get the start for the Indians. Scott, I'll let you kick this off. I know this is your team. What do you got going on here?
So for me, I might surprise you a little bit, but I'm just going to look at the numbers and play the numbers. I like Cleveland in this spot. I think that it is shocking to me that Bieber, the up-and-coming AL Cy Young Award winner, is an underdog at home in the first game of the series. I find that just a foreign concept to me. Now, I understand that Cleveland has had some offensive issues and that the Yankees on paper – oh my gosh, the Yankees on paper, this team should win 100. Yeah, I get it. I know. The team's very good on paper. Unfortunately, they have not played like it this season. And right now, the Yankees are minus 114, give or take. Cole's roughly So Cole's, is getting a lot of love from the markets. Meanwhile, Bieber's roughly minus 103, minus 101. I think both these starting pitchers are a borderline wash. And I think Cleveland at home is definitely an advantage because the Yankees have been terrible on the road. So if I had to lean anywhere, I'll lean to the Indians because I think that the Yankees on the road should not be this big of a favorite.
All right, good enough. Both these pitchers have just been outstanding.
It's basically a wash in terms of starting pitching. I think that both pitchers should pitch really well. First Garrett 5 unders. What do you think the first 5 unders is going to be? 3?
It's going to have to be.
But the full game total is roughly 6.
It is 3.
I can't touch that.
6.5.
But I can't do it.
6.5 is the number, man. That is certainly gets my attention. Anytime you see 6.5, I'm looking for any reason to play that.
Correct. It's just a matter of I don't really know if I can, but I think that the issue, first of all, that even though I'm a fan of teams, I'm a realistic fan. And in reality, the Yankees, despite being really good on paper, have really not been a great baseball team this year. They've been fine. They've had injury issues. They're finally relatively healthy. I get it. But Judge recently came off the IL. He's been, I'd say, okay. He hasn't been phenomenal since he came back. Stan's been pretty good since he came back, but I don't think he can stay healthy. Torres has been okay. I know Sanchez is not going to be in the lineup tonight, which is a good sign for Yankee fans because Higashioka is Cole's personal catcher, so that is going to help. But besides LeMahieu and Voit, I think everybody's pretty much underachieved. So I'm going to lean to Cleveland in what should be a very low-scoring game because I think Bieber is just otherworldly, and I think that Cleveland's bullpen, hell, it might even be better than the Yankees' bullpen because Chapman's always inconsistent. Britton's been pretty good this year, but he's had some flare-ups. Green's been okay. Ottavino's been useless. He has an ERA of roughly 6. Yeah, I'm kind of beating around the bush, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to lean to Cleveland based on the current number.
Yeah, both these teams' bullpens haven't been great. Indians' bullpen 3.53 ERA.
Let me ask you, who do you trust more in a game, though, Chapman or Brad Hand?
Great question.
I'm just asking because as a Yankees fan, I want to say Chapman, but he always has a tendency to walk people. And even though I'm not a big Brad Hand guy, he did lead the American League in saves.
Yeah, this is a Cleveland team that is not afraid to take a pitch. Yeah, I would say from a consistency basis, I would take Brad Hand, and man, that's just sad.
That's what I'm saying. I like Chapman a lot because, of course, his stuff is great, but he has issues all the time when it comes to finding the zone, and I feel like that's a serious problem, and especially in a playoff series when you need outs, and if you come in with a guy on base, there's no guarantee Chapman's going to throw strikes, which I think is a serious problem. I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. DJ, Voit, and everybody could wake up, and all of a sudden it's great, but the issue I have with the Yankees is on the road – they have been terrible. And now they're against arguably the best pitcher in the league from this year. Bieber has been the best pitcher in the league in 2020. And, yeah, I'm getting him at roughly plus 100, or roughly even money. Sure. I'll take Bieber.
Yeah, I'm going to have to – I'll go with the home team here as well. Give me Cleveland minus 102.
If Cleveland loses, then, it is what it is because the Yankees on paper are the much better offense. But you're just giving me such a steal on Bieber. It's the best price I'm going to get on Bieber all year.
Well, and this is another one where I'm tempted to play the over 2.5.
For Cleveland?
Yeah, it's juiced, obviously, at 145 again. But
well, the issue that the Yankees have with Cole is that Cole's really, really good for about 5 innings, and something usually happens. Either Boone keeps him in too long and he struggles, or he just randomly gives up home runs, which has been an issue for him. And Cleveland has been they've been sizzling over the last week or two. So I'll ride the hot hand with the best pitcher in the game right now in terms of 2020 numbers. I'll take them at roughly minus 103, give or take.
Yeah, I really have a hard time believing that that number is 2.5 for Cleveland.
What do you think this price should be? I think Cleveland should be around minus 112, minus 115.
Yeah.
I think the line should be flipped, if I'm being completely honest.
I was going to say minus 110, but yeah, I think you're right. They're giving the Yankees the nod for the experience. They get everybody back. They get Stanton back and they get Judge back. And
yeah, a Judge has not looked as sharp since coming off the IL, but more reps.
Right.
With that.
And of course they have Garrett Cole on the mound, who was the best pitcher in baseball last year, and certainly has had another very fine season. I get it, but I think there's value on the Cleveland Indians right.
I get it too. I just think the number's too high on the Yankees.
Minus 102. I'll take the Indians as well, taking possible Smith there at the team.
I hope I'm wrong because I'm a Yankees fan, but it wouldn't surprise me.
All right, very good, man. That's a baseball show for today, Scott. 4 down, 4 up, 4 down. Tomorrow we'll be doing 8, but today it's a walk in the park, my friend.
Yep.
Should be fun. And any final thoughts on the baseball playoffs as we get rolling here today?
Overall, no. I'm just hoping for good quality. I'd say just content. Give me something to watch in the middle of the afternoon that I can actually enjoy. All
right. And by the way, for those of you that back the play of the day and check that out, we're waving it off. We're waving off the play of the day today on the Toronto Blue Jays.
I believe the term is that you use the listed pitcher option.
Yeah, we're hoping that's what happened. So, all right. That's it, everybody. And if you're a little deeper dive into all these games, of course, you know where to go. winnersandwhiners.com, the #1 site in the world for predictive sports analysis. You will find none better anywhere. So make sure you check them out for different opinions with our cappers over there. Very good cappers, very good writers at winnersandwhiners.com. But for now, we're out of here. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com, wishing you a great day. Hope every one of those baseball tickets is cash money in your pocket, and you guys win everything in sight. Stay well, stay healthy. We'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.